Hello, everyone. Welcome to Learn English at Home 79. I'm Sarah, your host today, and I'm joined by my friend Mark. Today, we have a powerful episode. We'll read true stories about famous fires in American history, learn some useful English words, and talk about how people responded to these disasters. Before we start, have you ever heard of the Great Chicago Fire? Let us know in the comments.
Hi, Sarah. I'm excited to be here. Fires can be scary, but they also show how strong people can be. As we listen, we'll pause to explain important words, so don't worry if you're new to English. Let's jump into the first story about Chicago.
The story begins. Fires are destructive. They also create changes. In 1870, a fire burned most of Chicago to the ground. Now let's explain that word, destructive.
Great idea. Destructive means something that causes a lot of damage or harm. If something is destructive, it can break things or hurt people. For example, a storm can be destructive.
Exactly. The fire in Chicago was very destructive. The story says many people think it started when a cow knocked over a gas lamp. Do you know what a cow is?
Cow is a big farm animal that gives us milk. It says moo and has 4 legs. In this story, it's a funny image to imagine a cow starting a huge fire.
Right. So, there was a cow, a lamp, and then a big fire. The story continues. Most of the city was built of wood. This, combined with the famous Chicago winds and a drought, made the city burn down quickly. Let's pause on drought.
A drought is a long time with no rain. When there is a drought, the ground and plants are very dry, so fires can start and spread easily. That made the fire worse in Chicago.
The fire lasted for 3 days. 100 people were left homeless, and at least 300 were killed. What was amazing was how quickly the city was rebuilt, eventually becoming the 3rd most populous city in the United States. Now, let's stop and explain damage.
Sure. Damage means harm or destruction to something. For example, if you drop your phone and it breaks, it has damage. The Chicago fire caused a lot of damage to buildings and homes.
Good point. And the word eventually is also important here.
Eventually means after some time, not right away. Chicago was rebuilt, but it took time. It didn't happen in one day, but eventually, the city became even bigger and stronger.
Now, let's move to Boston. The Great Boston Fire of 1872 created a property damage of $73.5 million, more than any other fire in U.S. history. Let's explain property.
Property means things that people own, like houses, stores, or land. When we say property damage, we mean things that were destroyed or broken in the fire.
And the fire started in a warehouse basement. Do you know what a warehouse is?
A warehouse is a big building where people store things before sending them to stores. Imagine a huge room full of boxes. That's a warehouse.
Most of downtown Boston and the financial district burned down. Let's talk about financial and district.
Financial is about money, banks, or business. District means an area of a city. So a financial district is the part of a city with many banks and companies.
The story says Boston began enforcing building regulations because of the fire. Now, what's a regulation?
A regulation is an official rule made by the government. After the fire, Boston made new regulations to keep buildings safer and stronger so fires would not spread so easily.
That's right, and it's interesting that disasters can lead to new laws and better safety. Now, let's talk about the next big fire in New York City. The 1911 Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire in New York City caused the 4th highest loss of life from an industrial accident in U.S. history. The word triangle appears here. What does it mean?
Triangle is a shape with 3 sides and 3 corners. In this story, it's the name of the company, Triangle Shirtwaist Factory.
Good. Now, factory is another important word.
A factory is a big building where people make things, like clothes, cars, or toys. Many people work together using machines.
The story says many garment workers died. Can you explain garment?
Sure, a garment is a piece of clothing. So, garment workers are people who make clothes.
123 women and 23 men, all garment workers and mostly poor immigrants, died from the fire, smoke inhalation, or falling or jumping to their deaths. What does inhalation mean?
Inhalation means breathing something in. In this case, people breathed in smoke, which is very dangerous and can kill.
And the word victim is also used here.
A victim is someone who is hurt or killed by something bad, like a fire or a crime. In this story, the people who died in the fire are called victims.
The youngest victims were 2 14-year-old girls who worked in the factory. Child labor was not uncommon. The owners locked the doors to prevent workers from taking breaks or stealing. Let's pause on steal.
Steal means to take something that isn't yours. In this story, the owners were afraid workers would steal things from the factory, so they locked the doors. That was very dangerous.
Exactly. What do you think about locking doors at work? Can you imagine if that happened today?
It's terrible. Today, we have safety rules to protect workers. But back then, many people had to protest to change the laws.
After the fire, many people began to protest poor working conditions. What does protest mean?
Protest is when people come together to show they don't like something. They might hold signs, march, or speak loudly so others will listen.
The story also says women workers formed a union. Can you explain union?
A union is a group of workers who join together to ask for better pay and safe working conditions. Unions help protect workers' rights.
And thanks to these protests and unions, the U.S. Congress passed new safety laws for factories. Now, let's quickly review today's new words. Mark, I'll say the word, and you give an easy example sentence. Ready? First word, cow.
Sure. Cow. The cow is eating grass in the field.
Damage.
Damage. The storm caused a lot of damage to the house.
Destructive.
Destructive. The tornado was very destructive.
District.
District. I live in the school district.
Drought.
Drought. The crops died because of the drought.
Eventually.
Eventually. He studied hard and eventually passed the test.
Factory.
Factory. My uncle works in a car factory.
Financial.
Financial. She wants a job in the financial sector.
Garment.
Garment. This shirt is my favorite garment.
Inhalation.
Inhalation. Smoke inhalation is dangerous.
Property.
Property. That house is my grandfather's property.
Protest.
Protest. The students held a protest for better food.
Regulation.
Regulation. The school has a regulation for uniforms.
Steal.
Steal. Don't steal from the store.
Triangle.
Triangle. Draw a triangle on your paper.
Union.
Union. The workers formed a union.
Victim.
Victim. He was a victim of the accident.
Warehouse.
Warehouse. The boxes are in the warehouse.
Here's a tip. To remember new words, try writing them on cards and saying them aloud every day, or use them in your own sentences about your life. Now, we want to hear from you. Think about the stories we shared. What would you do if you saw something unsafe in your school or workplace? Would you tell someone or organize a protest? Share your ideas in the comments or with a friend.
That's a great way to practice your English and think about real-life situations. Remember, your voice is important.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Remember, learning English is a journey. Don't worry about making mistakes. Every word you learn is a small victory.
Keep smiling, keep practicing, and keep asking questions. Thanks for listening, and we can't wait to see you next time on Learn English at Home 79. Have a great day.
Before we go, here's a final tip. Try to use at least 3 new words from today in a sentence before you go to bed. You'll be surprised how much you remember when you use English in your daily life. Keep going, you're doing amazing.
See you next time, everyone. And remember, every day you practice, your English gets stronger. Goodbye for now.